Hey fellas, Onish here, and welcome back to With a Y. I'm sure we're feeling all extra normal today after that episode 8 dropped of the Digital Circus. I mean, I recorded my full reaction yesterday, and it should also be up today if it hasn't been already. But my god, did that, like, really mess me up? I think there are some very valid criticisms you can make of Digital Circus as a show, but, like, one thing that I've noticed that has gotten me so pulled into it is that every episode, I think from episode 5 onward, has just, like, cranked it up several notches and has just kept me more locked in for the next episode than I was the last time around. And this was no exception. This was the first Digital Circus episode I think I was like following moment to moment in the updates of when it comes out. And now I'm like really hyped in the same way I am for Deltarune Chapter 5 for episode 9 to come out in June 19th. Let's cover the Twitter reaction because this shit has been insane. You had the lead up of the whole thing where people were all right, episode 8, do your worst. And they just have the premiere countdown loaded up with just a gigantic bottle of Jack Daniels with them. And this happens every time there's a new episode. Twitter just caught on fire. From Switch, I can always tell when a new TADC episode dropped when all my moots start tweeting like this.
The demons, they're after me. They watch me. They're in my head. The demons are in my head.
So we have what the build-up and lead-in was like for most people. We have what we looked like to people on the outside of the community. This is what people have been doing after the episode came out. Digital Circus episode is out. OMG, I'll be back to rate my opinion when I'm done watching it. This was the review. Hieroglyphics, Jack, Hieroglyphics, Gooseworks, Hieroglyphics, Caine, Hieroglyphics, Kinger. Like, this episode is genuinely sending people into Half-Life levels of psychosis. Okay, maybe not Half-Life levels, because this was an image I first saw during the Half-Life fans going out their mind. I've grouped up what I want to talk about in order because there's some major ones. We're gonna say full spoilers for this episode from this point on in the video. There are some major things I want to touch on, but let's get a few like house cleaning things out the way. From Onion Sued, they did like some under the skin art of Jax having his body torn off him by silhouettes of the 3 people he's ever let into his life in the circus. At least Pomni's holding his hand, but the funny thing about this moment happening was that peeled Jax was a thing that I think I made a comment about when I watched the pilot initially. Like, it almost looked like his face kind of moved around a yellow oval, like that had his eyes and teeth flush against it. You had people drawing fan art of this like 2 years ago. They were just ahead of the curve, and a lot of those guys have just been getting dogpiled with people asking, how the fuck did you know that would happen?
How did you know? How did you know?
I always thought, especially in this piece, but the way that he was having his skin peeled off him, like just being in the Torment Nexus. I'm gonna pull that clip up real quick. Like, Jesus Christ, man, that is brutal. I made this comment when I was first watching the episode that this isn't like a gory show, but knowing that the characters can feel all of this and the shit they were going through, it is like such creative ass torture that people were doing. And this shot of Jax in particular made me think of that one painting of the guy pulling off his face that you've probably seen in other places. I don't actually know where it originates from, but the other thing we had was the appearance and reveal of Queenie. If we're getting a look at old characters, I think there's a really good chance we will have a Ribbit reveal in the finale. And it was kind of heart-wrenching, like just seeing these two reunite and instantly recognize each other as the other spouse, even though they couldn't remember each other's names. Another tally in this show just seems to like always ramp up and improve in production quality over time, is people comparing similar shots from the pilot to now. Like, everything in Digital Circus in the last few episodes has looked smooth as shit, and the pilot was impressive for what it was, but I think like we're realizing how good we have it now because of just how outdated that pilot feels. I did not expect to get this many new characters like have their models revealed, like humans that abstracted, most of which I don't think we've seen before. People are speculating that because these are the first humans in the circus, that these are the original programmers of the circus. And Kinger mentions like a brilliant mind that did a lot of the early work on developing Caine named Scratch. And hey, you know who this dog avatar has a striking resemblance to? The Scratch Loco. I know this one's a cat and this is a dog, but if they're gonna name a character Scratch and make like a little orange fuzzy thing, I think that's pretty neat. I also had the thought while watching this the first time that like the modern cast really lucked out on their models. Like, I know Zubul has the body dysmorphia issue and is like always replacing parts to put themselves in a body they feel more comfortable in. I can't imagine like what some of these guys are feeling though. At least everybody in the modern cast is humanoid. Like, what do you mean you got turned into a fucking Whismur from Pokemon, or you got like old Humpty Dumpty over here? It's kind of like Marks from Kirby. Like, it would be terrible to be this snake. No arms, no legs, just you gotta learn how to slither around. You're a human, dude. That's fucked fucked up. Somebody transcribed all the code that Kinger was interacting with in his scenes at the computer terminal, and included in this seems to be the dates that certain characters joined the circus. Like, Kinger's been here since 96, and someone figured out that Ragatha has been here since 2000. And if the show takes place in 2017, like a lot of people theorize, that would completely explain why she didn't understand when Jax made a reference to Breaking Bad as his life story. Z Lucky was the person I saw point this out. Me and my junkie associate from a chemistry class I used to teach. I know what you're referencing. Was that a reference to something? And of course she doesn't know, bro. She's been here since like the new millennium started. And she was like the first of the crop to come after all of Kinger's original friends died. So, dude, she's been making it work in the circus for like a long ass time. I think there's some debate on if this says 2000 or 2008, but either way, the date that it's set on. I saw some people saying with her living on a farm, it makes sense that even then she wouldn't know what it is because it took a minute for that show to get popular. As we all know, though, Caine fucking dies in this episode. And I won't lie, there was like some real satisfaction here. I know my last Digital Circus video on this channel was me like espousing how much I want to see Jack suffer, but now that this episode's come out and I've just seen him be put through shit, all the stuff I was begging, man, it just doesn't feel satisfying anymore. Like, I don't want to keep watching. I think this is like my hubris running me up against the wall. Like, I won't get satisfaction from seeing somebody else's suffering just because I don't like them. At least not in Jax's case. I will say, though, when Caine got his...
Created. I just wanted to fulfill my purpose.
Wait, no, shit.
Wait.
Gone! Out of here, man! I will be putting my Caine plushie through the Torment Nexus for this foreseeable future, for the things and evils he committed. There's like a little like whimper and kind of fear in his voice that I don't think I've ever really heard from Caine. It's like the moment he's just coming face to face with his own mortality. And because we were fresh off like him being straight up Am, I think it was more cathartic to just hear him like have that little bit of fear, experience even a modicum of the existential dread that the people he's torturing are going through. It's not a modicum, he's got a lot of existential dread, I should clarify. But speaking of Caine going full evil, before we get into like the death of it all being satisfying, we gotta look at like just what some of the shit people were talking about from a week and a half ago. Why are so many Digital Circus theories just, what if Caine was actually evil all along? As if we haven't spent the whole show being repeatedly told he means well. He just doesn't understand how to help. Okay, Caine, buddy, you're making it real hard for me right now. One of the funniest bits I saw was people revisiting that AI blunt rotation shit from a few months ago, where it was like, what is this blunt rotation of Am, Hal, GLaDOS, and Caine would be like? And a lot of people kind of illustrated Caine as like just kind of a happy-go-lucky, happy to be included of these four. Like he'd be drawing and doodling little pictures while the others just shit on one another and like argue about how they hate humans more than the other. Welcome to the big lead, Caine, Digital Circus. You ain't a little boy no more. Like he really freaks the fuck out in this chapter, man. Like he had the type of AI crash out that you really expect AI characters to have every single time in a show. And you know, I respect that he really did just commit to the fucking evil, stealing people away and like torturing them momentarily to entertain myself shit. Like they went full Am. He literally says, I am, pause, God. Like the parallels are just so direct and just in your face now, and I kind of love that about it. But it is funny to me that in this blunt rotation, he would probably be the laughing stock. We'll get back to that. The entirety of Digital Circus
Mouth shut.
like you don't want to get caught by him. From Gooseworks in 2023, Caine isn't really evil, he's just kind of oblivious. He has a hard time understanding humans, but he tries his best, even if his best ends up turning Pomni and the others into knife pin cushions, which happened, like, very directly. Like, I had no idea how literal Goose was being when she said this. And I understand why a lot of neurodivergent people kind of related to his genuine want but inability to connect with some people. And then they just watch the fucking guy they related to just go on, just become evil, Evil McGee? Like, Jesus Christ, man. Shout out Alex for giving just a crazy-ass performance during all the crash-out sequences where he was just going off the walls.
Humans.
The audio design in this entire first I am a god scene was like, just had me on the edge of my seat, even if some of the dialogue made me giggle a little, but individually, the shit Caine was doing to these guys was just fucked up. And the way the show was edited, where it was just sequenced from Kinger talking to his wife and realizing that she's by his side at least, and then smash cut to him watching her be abstracted and getting thrown into the nether. Like, that is so fucked up. The last guy that should happen to is Kinger, man. He's a good dude. Get people doing more of like some of the classic art redraws, just Caine devouring. And the scene in the episode where the cast just has their crash out on him on like all the shit that like they hate about what he does. Like, he doesn't listen, he strings them along, he doesn't put himself in their shoes. And the one that stuck is Jax telling him that you always lie to us. Like, that shit cuts deep. Like when he's saying, I can't alter your minds. Like, it's just such horseshit. Because he put them through personal nightmare sequences where it just pulls on their actual memories in traumatic moments to like just make them go through constant, not just physical, but emotional agony. It's like probably the biggest lie he's told with the biggest consequences. Like, he can absolutely do that shit to you, and when he decided to, it was awful. And he wasn't even transparent with them about the fact that he could, he just doesn't. From Agony Addict. Zubul being like, Caine, we don't feel like going on today's adventure. A lot has happened. And this is his reasonable response.
I was meant to be new. I was meant to be beautiful. The world would have looked to the sky and seen hope, seen mercy. Instead, they'll look up in horror because of you.
Absolutely insane shit. Like, it lines up so well with like him like not being asked to be created, and especially being called a failure by Bubble all that time, like, was fucking that guy up. Now, Gangle, Jax's, Ragatha, and Zubul's nightmare sequences were so personally tailored that some people felt Pomni's was kind of underwhelming, and I think visually it is, but I think it's alright because it was shown first. And she was getting torn limb from limb, like literally pulled on the stretcher, like as she gets turned into a chicken nugget. And using gummy goo for this was just diabolical. And I don't know that this is explicitly the case, but if you wanted to apply some trauma to it, to even it out, from Mechas, maybe I'm overthinking it, but what if Pomni was abused by someone she really trusted? Which, using gummy goo for that is just fucking violating on Caine's part, man. Speaking of, we need to take some time to celebrate his death, dude. Like, we have to dunk on this motherfucker. Like, I'm sorry, he's evil now. He can get the whip. Caine Amazing Digital Circus is the world's first person to die of rage bait. Like, he dies from a literal misinput on the part of Kinger. Like, it wasn't supposed to be on purpose, and he just gets fucking zapped alive! From Jaws Claws, Kinger, after accidentally deleting Caine from the circus.
It was a misinput. Calm down! You calm!
Weirdly accurate to the text of the original show. Like, there's a weirdly perfect amount of reaction videos people are using. I'm like, how does it fit the context so perfectly? Like, and this is part of why I'm saying that he would be the most pathetic AI in the blunt rotation, because what is it people were saying? Gets criticized once, dies immediately. Like, he crashed out because they told him his games weren't very fun after he was the one who had misled them into thinking there was an exit from the game. Like, he's no longer the happy-go-lucky guy who's not nearly as, like, mentally damaged as the other AIs in that circle. He's like now the most pathetic by comparison, even if like he is incredibly frightening in what he can do. From Cube, this weird thing just appeared in my recycling bin. What should I do? How did he get there? All right, a few more just kind of unrelated tidbits that are more comedy than anything before we wrap up. There was a part in the musical number where Jax just gets the electric chair. Why is his Jax toy so small? Yeah, if that silhouette ain't his fucking micro penis, I have no idea what it could be. Maybe it's probably his hand like showing up behind his body in the silhouette, but it looks funny this way, so we're calling it that. Per usual, there's a lot of funny bunny if you're into that.
Fill me in later.
Be here later.
I will.
Like, that's such huge fucking progress for him, man, and he actually did go off to take one for the team and distract Caine for as long as it took. Like, guys, I hate to say it, but I think he is, like, hitting a genuine redemption arc for me. Like, it doesn't undo all the shit that he did to others, but he spent this episode going through it with them, understanding, and, like, having, like, just a mental breakdown after mental breakdown, and then still locking in by the end and buying them the time they needed for Kinger to do his shit. And he also had this realization where he's like, oh my god, this is real. And I think that fucked him up a bit because he was like, come on, these guys, like, I'm not torturing real folk. They're my playthings. And it's just really messed him up. Bro Otto listened like a good boy. I think there's a very good argument that all my hatred for Jax has been filtered through him, like into Caine. Like, Jax, you got incredibly lucky that an even more hateable mass murderer doing even worse shit showed up. And you, like, this episode was huge progress for him, man. Like, he's actually, like, making an effort. I hate that I got turned around on him. I hate that the Jax propaganda worked on me. The bit at the end where Zubul was able to swear uncensored, proving that the show is probably not intended for children, had me fucking cackling. And somebody pointed it out later, Gangle's reaction to Zubul swearing, just a huge soy face. And if the filters are off, man, Zubul's request to be able to have sex at the circus, it might be possible now. Gangle and Zubul don't give a fuck about that whole, like, rebuilding the broken world shit, or about, like, the death of Caine being a huge historical event. They're like, come here, abs tragedy Caine. You know what? This one's a good one to end it off on, because it was cracking me up. This guy, Sebastian, said, the 2020 timestamp on the Amazing Digital Circus episode 8 will determine my future. And this is what was there. The tumor in his head. Fucking washed, man. I'm wishing you the best of luck and that it's not actually predictive of your future. That's all I got for now. It's absolutely not the last thing I could say about the Digital Circus. These are just kind of like my unorganized thoughts. Mere hours after finishing the damn thing and like looking at a lot of community response. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at with a Y. That email's in the description if you guys want to send me any video topics. Anyways, piss off.